everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about the issues with the Black book community. So I was debating on whether I should make this video or not, but then I'm like, I don't make videos for white people, I make videos for Black people, and there's just been so much drama that's been wide open for all the public to see, posted on different platforms, and it's crazy because during Black History Month, it felt like every day was just nonstop, some kind of drama. And it's really a month where we should be celebrating the achievements of Black people, specifically their unsung achievements from the past. But instead, it's like infighting every single day. We can't say respect Black women and then we're on the timeline calling each other outside of their names. And I noticed it especially prevalent on Threads. So Threads is my least favorite of the social media sites. I feel like the algorithm there rewards being messy and rewards drama, and that people are always in some kind of discourse or always stating these horrible opinions just because they know it's going to get them engagement. And there's actually a lot of bookish content creators where after I saw how they post on Threads, I'm like, I don't want to follow them. There are some authors, after I saw what they constantly post on Threads, I'm just like, I don't want to read their books anymore, and it's unfortunate. But it just seems like the same people always have something to say on there. And there's definitely discussions that need to be had for the community, but there's also people who just bait all the time for engagement. I've learned over the past few years, every year during Black History Month, you're going to get the people who act confused about Black romance versus interracial romance. And I've kind of learned to just start ignoring those people because what they really want is attention. And I'm just at the point where I don't want to give it to them anymore. I feel like the longer that I'm in the book community online, the less I want to engage with a lot of people. I'm good with staying in my bubble. I'm good with talking about the books that I want to talk about. I'm not really in it for the popularity of it all and to be everybody's most loved creator. And I feel like a lot of people are. I've noticed it, especially within the past year, as more and more people have discovered the community through TikTok. They are trying to be influencers as a full-time job, and it's just not sustainable. You constantly have to do stuff to get attention, and with us as Black creators, it's just 10 times harder. And I see people coming over from the beauty community and trying to think that it operates in a similar way. I see people saying, oh, well, my goal for this year is to get on brand trips. I'm like, brand trips? They don't really do that in the book community. We had one publisher do a trip one time, and people were angry about it because they had fired a bunch of employees and then decided to treat influencers to a trip, and people just felt like that those funds could have been better utilized to actually market specific books that did not get attention because of the strike and still don't get attention because they're not really putting forth much effort to even pay for online advertisements for many books. So there aren't a lot of brand trips and big opportunities, and it feels like everybody is fighting for the few that there are. People want the attention of being on a panel. They want to be buddy with authors, so they have exclusives to their new work, and authors want to be buddy with readers so that they can get good reviews. And sometimes it's hard to figure out where those boundaries are. As somebody who started in the reviewer space, but I'm also writing, and I want to publish a book within a few years. I'm still trying to figure out my own place in the mix. Like, there are authors that I befriended where I'm like, I'm not going to review your book anymore because we have too much of a close personal relationship. I just don't feel like it would be fair for me to give a review because I don't think I could be fully honest about it. And there's people who I would say that we have been mutuals on social media for a while, but I don't consider us friends. And I feel like the term friend gets kind of thrown out a lot within this space. Like, people are like, oh, we're friends because we are on Instagram together, or we're friends because we're on Twitter together, we're friends because we are on Threads or Blue Sky or whatever. And I'm like, but do you really know that person? And there's this need to just defend people even when they do wrong, because they enjoy books or they write books. And I've noticed that, and I disagree with that as well. I'm like, being a book content creator does not absolve you when you do wrong. Being an author doesn't absolve you when you do wrong. We need to start holding people accountable in this space and stop acting like books give people a free pass, because we kind of elevate books in a way we don't elevate other things. I've talked about it before where I said this community has a shopping addiction, but it's not seen as an addiction because it's books and like not other things people deem frivolous. I'm like, it's still an addiction. Addiction is an addiction, whether your addiction is books, whether your addiction is shoes, whether your addiction is clothes. It's just because it's books, it's seen as not a bad addiction. And like, books are great. Books are wonderful, but a sentiment that I've seen like said a lot the past couple of years is books are life-saving. Books saved my mental health. Books are the best antidepressant I've ever had. And I just disagree with that profusely. As somebody who has gone through a lot in the past few years, I will say books have provided a great distraction from my problems, but they cannot solve the issue of my problems. And that's something I really had to sit with, especially the last 2 years, just thinking about, okay, it got to the point where I could no longer really use books as a distraction, and I was in my head and I had to talk to people about my feelings, because books also cannot replace that interaction with real people. And I've met amazing people in this community, don't get me wrong. There are people I consider true friends in this community who have really gotten me through it the past couple of years. There are people I talk to every single day. We don't just talk about books anymore. We talk about our personal life. They know me better than even some people in my offline lives. There's people I've been able to meet in person, and that's been amazing too, to just be able to connect with them in that way. And that's why we are here in these online spaces, because we crave that human connection. And books are the things that connect us. But when we talk about like the Black Threads or Black Book Talk or Black BookTube, we're not really as fully connected as a community as we like to present. We are all kind of in our own little bubbles. There are plenty of people who are posting on this platform here on BookTube who are Black, who I've never heard about. They've never heard about me. Maybe I came across their page once or twice, but I didn't really click with them and their content, so I just kept it moving. And we kind of try to lump ourselves all together, but the truth is we're not a community. We don't interact. We don't have too much in common besides the color of our skin. And maybe we might have the shared experience, depending on what country we live in, but we're really not a community. And it's very reflective of real life, actually, when it comes to the Black community. We call ourselves the Black community, but there's so much disconnect. There's diaspora wars, just based off of the different locations we all reside in. There's different experiences when it comes to class, like middle class versus lower class. There's regional differences. There's just so many things that disconnect us from each other that it's hard to fully claim that we're a community. And I kind of see a lot of those same issues present when we talk about the Black book community. Like, I don't consider myself in a community with people just because we have the same skin tone, but we read completely different. Like, there are people who strictly read indie romance. There are people who strictly read fantasy. There are people who read across the board. There are people who kind of like really just stick to their ears. There are people who just do this for fun. There are people who are doing this because they're trying to make it a career. And I think we kind of take a few people and elevate them as if they are the representatives for everyone else, and that's just not the case. So like, when I see all the infighting the past few weeks, it really upsets me because I'm like, Black History Month is supposed to be a joyous month. We are supposed to be celebrating. We are supposed to be like, why are we attacking each other where everybody can see it? I'm kind of at the point right now where I'm like trying to stick to myself and my people and focus on bettering me. And I'm not engaging with as much stuff. When I talk about different issues, I'm talking about the things that are important to me. The problems that I might see in books, the things I see in the publishing industry that I feel need fixing. I'm going to more events in person to meet and connect with other people. And so I think that we do kind of need to take a step back from these platforms at times because they can be all consuming. I know, just like even me a few years ago, when the main interaction I was getting was from this community, like, stuff would drive me crazy. Like, I would see somebody post something ignorant or something on Twitter and it would really, really make me mad. Now it might annoy me, but I'm not holding on to it as long. And I think that healthy separation is a good thing. We don't all have to get along. We don't all have to consider ourselves in community with each other. We don't have to take so much of this to heart because at the end of the day, we don't even know each other. Like, you can watch me every single week on here and not really know too much about me. I like talk a little bit about myself, but at the end of the day, you don't really know exactly where I live. You don't know my full name. You don't know what I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm trying to present to you a specific image. And we're just having way too much drama about books. Let's get back to celebrating the books because right now I feel like the Black books are getting overshadowed. When I think about the books that I was seeing on my timeline during the month of February, a lot of them were the same books, and that was the bigger issue. I saw people fighting to claim an author that they only started reading like 2 years ago because that person is popular. But I'm like, there's so many other great authors who deserve attention and are not getting any attention. And we should be spreading the love, but instead we're like fighting this person over their opinion on this author. Make it make sense. So those are just my thoughts about the issues in the Black book community. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!